Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John. I am in the sipping den. Yes. I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol if you're new here. And I mean, that says it all. Okay? And I emphasize everything that has anything to do with alcohol. So if you like any kind of beverage on this planet that has anything to do with alcohol, I'm your man. I also do a famous Sunday morning coffee review. Now, you might think that extensive amount of stuff I review would be hard to navigate, but it's not, because I have the most extensive, up-to-date, easiest playlists on YouTube. Just go to the playlists on my channel and click it, and you'll see all the beautiful playlists, everything broken down, everything you ever want to know. You're going to start seeing stuff on there that you're curious about, that you already like, that you just amazing. It really is. So, and the first comment, which I pin all the time, because it has the playlist to whatever I'm reviewing on that particular video. In this case, it would be beer. And I even have the beers in different categories. You'll see when you get on there. Anyway, I'm a one-stop shop. And all those reviews, I do for two reasons. One, because I can. I'm the only one on YouTube can do it. I only want the knowledge to do all that. And two, I do it with half my taste buds tied behind my back to make it fair. Lexington Brewing Company, all tech, under the umbrella of all tech. Lexington Brewing Company is in Lexington, Kentucky, and it is in the same building as Town Branch Distillery. Matter of fact, Town Branch is the only distillery on the Bourbon Trail with a full brewery. And if you take that tour, it's cool, because it's a beautiful facility. They have good parking, and you get tastings of their bourbon, and you also get tastings of their beers. You stop at a little bar area, and they have taps with their beers. So I've done a lot of their beers. Most of them are really good. This one, excuse me, is interesting. Kentucky Maple Barrel Stout. Imperial Stout, aged for 18 months. 18 months is a long time. Most beers that are aged are done for 3 months. This is 18 months in maple syrup bourbon barrels. Now, since they make their own bourbon, 12% alcohol by volume, that's up there. I'm assuming they made a bourbon maple syrup whiskey, maple syrup bourbon, because they make their own. Now, maybe they bought this from somebody else, which would be odd, because it wouldn't be odd, but I mean, they have their own barrels from their own, but they may not have made the maple. I don't know that. It does say somewhere that it is made with fresh, wet barrels. So that's really going to impart some flavor, and it always jacks up the alcohol content. It's also brewed with brown sugar. A little glare in there. Let me see if I can. There it is. There it is. Get that kind of course. All their bottles of beer have that different color caps with the horse on it. Anywho, this will be today's glass. Yeah. All right. Now, is there any sediment? I doubt it, but just in case, I want it, because sediment to me is another word for flavor. I'll take it. Doesn't bother me any. All right. Here's the. I guess I didn't show you the back. Not that it matters all that much, but yeah, it's got the horse and the whole can. Ooh, yeah, I'm smelling. I'll tell you, their bourbon barrel, the regular bourbon barrel beer. It's probably the strongest bourbon flavored beer I ever had to date. And I'm in Kentucky. I've had a lot of them. And that beer goes unbelievably well, half and half with their vanilla porter. Oh, it's good. Anyway, because I'm smelling this from here, from this distance, and I smell bourbon. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Cocoa, sweet bourbon, because that maple syrup, and then the bourbon. 18 months. Anyway, there's the color. We get into that dark brown. a lot of light here, and it's not being able to see any of the light through. Wow, just sweet bourbon, cocoa, maybe a hint of coffee. All right, well, cheers, my friends. Acclimation sip. I don't ever judge anything on the first sip. I'm just acclimating my palate to this. All right, number one, there's no carbonation there whatsoever left. Therefore, it's going to be easy to drink because it's quote-unquote flattish. So, I mean, you're not getting the carbonation kind of slows you down. Two, it has a nice thick mouthfeel. The flavors. Three, it is boozy. You can tell it's a high alcohol content because you just taste it. Yeah, you're getting the bourbon. You're getting sweet bourbon. So that maple syrup is and the brown sugar is definitely putting a note in there. So it's a sweet bourbon. Chocolate. A little bitterness on the backside, which you need. Probably I would up the hops even a little more because, although I don't know, I'm not a beer maker. I just like to balance out sweetness with bitterness a lot of times. That'd be hard to balance this out because it's pretty sweet tasting. But then the bitterness in the back, actually, now that I'm talking, is building. So it seems like they did a pretty good job at that. The sweet to almost to the back of the tongue starts getting a little bitter after you swallow the aftertaste. If you leave it a second, is bitter and it kind of passes off that sweetness till the next sip. So the cocoa, maple syrup, or the sweetness, the brown sugar and maple is definitely an influence. The bourbon. See if I get any oak or any coffee. Yeah, you can get some barrel influence for sure. I don't really get coffee. No. I mean, some people might describe the bitterness and it's dark like coffee, and they might get coffee. You get coffee in stouts a lot. I wouldn't say I'm getting coffee out of this one. It's good. I wish it kept the fizz just a little more. I mean, it's a stout, but other from that, a little more fizz to it, a little more carbonation. This would be good nitro, man. Yeah, put a nitro ball in this bad boy. That cascading creaminess, this thing would be off the charts. It's good. Their beers are generally solid. Just had a couple I wasn't crazy about. 90+% I like. And 75-80% I really like. So that's pretty solid. Cool place if you get a chance. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful place to visit. They do a wonderful tour. At least they did when I went. It's been a while. And they make other stuff. They make gin and some other things. So anyway, cool place. I enjoyed it. Solid beer. And I'm going to sit here and enjoy it, sip it slowly because it is 12%. And I'm going to see y'all. You know what I'm going to see y'all? On the next one. Now don't forget to subscribe.